How's it going, Rasmanites? Well, it is finally time for part 2 of the 2012 Family Christmas Haul, recorded on the 22nd of January. What the heck took so long? Well, you're hearing part of it, which I will explain in excruciating detail, and then I'll show you the rest. Today, on the Razman's Reality. Alrighty, so here we are finally with part 2 of the 2012 Family Christmas Haul. What happened? Well, as those of you who've been following me for the last month know, Chris was supposed to get this beautifully sounding baby, the Blue Yeti microphone, the best desktop microphone in the world today, bar none. Normally like anywhere from 130 to 150 bucks retail. Got it on sale at Christmas time for under 100. But what happened? Well, if you watched the Hobbit review, part 1 of that, the non-spoiler one, you heard me say that it was on back order. So that was problem number 1. And then, once it got out of back order, like Chris got home on January 1st, January, was it New Year's Day or New Year's Eve? I can't remember. Might have even been January 2nd. Anyway, point is, Chris went home and it was there. The Yeti was there. So he shipped it to me. And that was, first week in January, so all should have been fine. And Amazon said 3 to 5 business days through their carrier that they use, when someone orders something but then has to ship it somewhere else. Well, which is Prestige, by the way, which I never heard of before, but that's the name of the carrier, is Prestige. So, almost a week and a half goes by. Well, almost 2 weeks go by. And because here we are in the 3rd week of January. So almost 2 weeks goes by and it hasn't come. And it was supposed to be 3 to 5 business days. So I called Chris up and I said, something's really wrong here. So he gets on the phone and proceeds to yell at Amazon, and obviously Toby's barking now. It's going to be way worse than ever with the desktop mic. We're just going to have to deal with the good with the bad, so I apologize. And I will also explain why I'm in 720p in a minute, because I forgot that some of you probably don't watch contest entries, so you may not know. But anyway, he gets on the phone and yells at Amazon's like, look, this thing never came. I spent almost $100 on it to give to my cousin for a Christmas gift. It never got to him. Like, what is going on here? And they swear it up and down. They're like, oh, no, we delivered it. So then Chris double checked my address, and it turned out that he got an extra letter put in my street name. Instead of calling it what it is, he added an R to it. Some of you know what my address is, some of you don't. I've only sent it to those of you who've sent me something, and that's obviously the right thing to do. But anyway, he added an extra R to the address. So he's like, well, was this the problem? Because I added this letter to the address. And they're like, well, no. We figured out that the address you gave, there was no such and such. But we found the correct address. And he's like, well, it's still not here. So after like 2 hours of them, trying to cover their rear ends and say, no, we said it, they finally said, all right, well, okay. If he doesn't have it, by Monday of last week. Then we'll get another shipment together, and he should have it in 2 Mondays. So that's what finally happened, and it arrived on January 21st. I just wasn't able to film until January 22nd. So the other thing you may be noticing is that my voice is a little bit softer in tone than what it should be. And I'm thinking that's just the nature of CP. So I actually put the microphone level all the way at 100, which I've never had to do, which normally it's like 85 for every mic I've ever been on. But I put it at 100. That did help some. So the only thing I know to do, if adjusting the volume sliders in Vegas doesn't compensate for it, is to actually go and increase the gain. I put the gain right at the eye because everything I read told me that putting the gain any higher on the Yeti creates too much sensitivity in the microphone levels. So I'm asked Sean about it there in Isaac, and if he sees this video go up before he sees his Facebook, I'm sure he'll tell me here. But I inquired about his expertise. We'll do what we can do. So real quick, let me get this out of the way for anybody that didn't see my 2 contest entries, because that's not your type of thing and you just skip over those videos. I'm in 720p because I wanted to get back to the show format, and it's just easier on my system. I only have a dual core processor and 4 gigs of RAM at the moment, so this is the best way to do it and be able to effectively edit videos. Obviously, all work videos will still be done in 1080p. So it's a temporary thing. I don't think the drop off is all that big with the C920, so hopefully you guys will like me, take the good with the bad. So what else did I get from late Christmas gifts that you guys haven't seen? Well, I got these beautiful Hogwarts house bookmarks, which, as you can see, actually look more like crest than bookmarks. They're beautiful. You have Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. They're really, really nice. So I'm really happy to have these. So that was gift number 1, and that was from my Aunt Violet. Oh, and another gift I forgot to mention was, in order to get the Yeti hooked up, Chris's brother Nathan, who actually lives here in Ohio, he had to buy me some external USB extenders because I didn't have enough USB space. I had all my USB space taken up. I could have taken out my headset mic, but there were 2 issues with that. Number 1, my current speakers have a short in them, so I don't want to use them. So I'm using the headphones for sound. And the reason I'm using those headphones for sound is because the only other pair of headphones that I had were the kind of headphones that you actually plug in to your onboard motherboard and a headphone jack. They're not USB, and the front of my motherboard, the casing never worked. So I can't fix that until I get another tower. So that's part of the reason. I may just invest in solo USB headphone microphones at some point. I probably will. And then the other reason I never undid the headset mic and want to keep it hooked up is because I want to use it as a permanent drag mic. I don't have to worry about dragging, making my volume too low on the microphone anymore, because I can keep my profile set to the LX3000 and have it running all the time, which will be a huge benefit for production. So that's that. So in addition to the Hogwarts house crypt, oh, and thank you Nathan for the USB ports. So in addition to the Hogwarts house press bookmarks. I also received everything here is from my second cousin Brenda, who's more like an aunt to me because she's my mom's age. So I got finally in my possession. All of you know that the Grinch is my favorite Christmas character of all time. So I got the book, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which I'm not able to flip through at the moment because of the file. So I'll do it next Christmas. I'll do a review of it. Sorry, I think I said pile. Or I mean file, but pile. So, yeah, that's Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the hardback novel. And then I got some comics from a brand new comic shop here in town that specializes specifically on older material. So I got Spider-Man. This one is from 1994. Then I got The Incredible Hulk from 1981. I don't know the value on any of these, by the way. I haven't had time to research it. So those of you who just automatically know these things off the top of your head, let me know, because I'm curious. Obviously, I'm not selling them, I'm just curious. And then I got an unintentional duplicate of something I already have, but this is one of my all-time favorite comic series anyway, so I'm glad to have this in a form that I can actually read, because I had a first edition of this. This is September 1997's Legends of the Dark Knight series, part 1. And 2, a double-sided edition. This one here, I actually don't know the year of, because for some strange reason I could never find it, but it's the Uncanny X-Men, and you can see on the cover it says Captain America, Black Widow, Wolverine back together for the very first time. So it's a cool X-Men Avengers crossover. So it should be a very cool read. And you can see that it's still in later, an earlier edition comic. I almost said later, or I did say later and then corrected myself, sorry. But yeah, you can see that it's still an earlier comic because it has a PS price of $1. And finally, another one that I don't know the exact year of, but obviously from the 70s, October 28th, Star Wars, The Cavern of the Crawling Deep. This was very, very cool. I've never actually owned a Star Wars comic that wasn't like a reprint or, something that was off of the early sequels. Actually, I do think that there was a Star Wars one that was in the recent haul that Cynical 44 gave me, actually, so I possibly stand corrected. But obviously, this is the first ever original Star Wars comic that I ever had, and that's what I love about this shop. I mean, look how much they charge for the resale of something that's obviously incredibly valuable, in just $2 US. So this is going to be my new favorite place in the whole world. The plan is sometime this summer to have some money saved up to go with Brenda and actually be there with her in person and raid this store in person. Because when I opened these and she told me about this store, I was like a kid on 20 Christmases at once. It's amazing. So I hope you enjoyed the debut of the Blue Yeti and the belated part 2 of the 2012 Family Christmas Haul. And reminder that Handi Enterprises Inc., your productivity and communication specialists, are the official sponsors of this program and channel. All company contact information is down below in the description box. Please follow, like, or subscribe to them on YouTube at any of their social media haunts and help me reach my goal of an increase of 200 unique people by the end of 2013 from where we're at the beginning of 2013, so that I can obtain a $200 bonus. This is reality according to the Razman and Razman style. It's not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.